Oh, and now I know again. We spectated them last week already because I remember Mr. Ting.
Yeah, we were trying to work out where MY was.
Ah, true, true, true. And this time, I'm not sure. Did we spectate Sakai and Walden? I think we did spectate them as well. The Argentinian duo, I think it was actually our first round game last week as well.
Feed me, no, they one of the other team people wrote it in the chat, so they were reacting to that, not to the stream.
Yes, and obviously we hope everybody is doing fair play here. So um, we trust the people. I mean, this is a fun tournament mainly, so keep up the fun. Exactly. Really interesting Joy of Legion spells to start with. Um,
I guess
it's
we don't see what mastermind options they pick, do we?
Oh yeah, we don't. We only see via
Well, I can see
income.
nobody has five income, so no one took greed. I guess they've either gone
Yes,
for the redraw or the lock-in.
that would be really cool to think about. While having a look at Walden, I would estimate he did, or he's going for locked in, since we see Sekai rolling or like picking his roll and then probably telling a unit or a wave he needs to cover, and then Walden is probably going for a locked in fighter covering that specific wave, or he might have a
Yeah,
disconnect, which
I think
is
that's probably quite a good way to play duo, right? Like you can get your kind of your greedy player can pick greed, and
yeah,
then your safe player can lock in something to cover the greedy player's waves.
yes, that's absolutely true.
So it'd be
Mm,
really interesting to see the team play like when Masters Cup comes around.
100%, 100%. I want to mention here Mr. Ting already having a quite solid option for Magician here, while I don't really see anybody else preferring Magician so far. Maybe Sakai with Starcaller.
So Kai's got Starcaller and LOD, but he's got a
Yeah,
very greedy role. He's got Priestess,
yeah,
Starcaller,
very expensive
and
role.
Lord of Death. That's really expensive.
Yeah, so he really got to look to play a little bit safer in the early game, especially with a huge gap then between the first three units as well. So he's not having like a tier 2 unit and then he's jumping from 85 gold to 140 gold between Varg and Mudman. So there's some really big jumps in there.
Yeah, he might struggle a bit in the early mid game.
Yes,
If he
absolutely.
does get into that late game, you know, if we're talking wave 15 plus, he's pretty strong.
Yes. And for everybody, we're trying to commentate this a little bit different to, for example, the Legion in-house league. If you were seeing that, we try to be a little bit more educational here. So if you want to improve something, you can ask in the chat for help, what we would change or anything like this, and we try to keep this a little bit more of an educational cast. So feel free to ask.
And we've got a Dragon Turtle sent into lane one for Sakai,
Yeah.
but he has added a Peewee, so he's absolutely fine here.
Yes, I'm not 100% sure. If he's actually fine because of the split he had, but it looks like he's doing fine, doing well.
There was a Priestess nerf as well, wasn't there? But if he gets this spell off, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
there was a
fine.
small nerf,
He's
but
fine.
it was perfectly holding, like just in time. So basically, the PV is a little bit too high for the split. Usually, we want to put it a little bit more down since the priestess has such a long range, to increase the amount of units attacking the priestess at first. So that's a little bit of a fine-tuned thing you could do here. But since the wave was that long because of Dragon Turtle, we see 3 brews with an income time, which is already a massive send in the early waves. Looking really good.
I see Julian bragging about being rank one in the chat. Like he's only had it for about 5 minutes, right? He needs
Yeah,
to deflate his head a little bit there.
at most. And then last week he almost played in the Legion Smash. So
Hey, do you see the tattoos on the back of the white
yeah,
Nakamata? That's pretty
yes.
cool. That's new, right?
Somebody explained it to me yesterday. I think it was Ithian. So now the Nikomata is getting more tattoos with more stacks. So the more stacks it has, the more tattoos it has.
Nice. It
To be
looks
a
really
little bit
cool.
of a visual thing. Looking pretty good. And I'm really looking forward to see a nice hold from Cesian here. Lane number 4, doing a really good job staying safe with Nightmare 4 workers. In that
Yeah,
case, you should always hold the Brute. So he's doing really, really good
but
here.
a pretty big leak in lane two, Walden though.
Yeah. He's leaking quite some, but there's as well a leak on Mr. Ting. He was a little bit unlucky, not getting the last hopper.
Yeah, that's the problem with the 7-stack Nakamata. Like, the heal is nice, but the extra kind of 90 gold you put in between a 4-stack and a 7-stack, because it's still 2 shots to creeps. So it's just
Yeah,
wasting so much damage, isn't it? Because it leaves the frogs on 1 HP or something and wastes 50% of its DPS pretty much.
exactly. Totally agree.
So he might have been better with keeping it on 5 stacks and turning one of these into a devilfish or a seraphim.
Um, Sorry, guys. I just had to write a message. What I want to mention here is the King spell. A lot of people underestimate the power of King spell and what is going to affect in the lane and in the sending phase. So there's 4 different King spells. Now we see Immolation. This spell is dealing a flat amount of damage over time. So for example, it takes every second for a certain amount of damage. The spell is extremely bad
There's
against...
a big leak in lane 1, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna spectate this. The spell is really bad if you have big units only, because it's not gonna spread the full power on multiple units. For example, this spell is really bad on boss weights or weights like 6 and 13. So if you're unsure whether you send 6 or 7, for example, always have a look at the spells, and if there's a spell that is really bad on wave 6, for example, Immolation, maybe this makes your choice a little bit easier. Coming back to the league just now, I think it was actually pretty much fine against an 80. So with this positioning and the units he had, he was not too far over value. He did actually quite a good job against his 80 cent here, I would say.
I don't know if you can call 75% leak a good job.
But it was
I think
75%.
he would have held much better with a better split, right? Because he had only 1 dragon turtle went on the priestess. Everything else went onto his split.
Yeah.
So he could have got a lot more benefit out of the heal with a bit of a lower split.
You're right then. And now
There's a bug
interesting.
here. Do you see this? The Scorpion King has gone at the back.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Strange. I mean, he's not in danger here since he's really strong on wave 5, but this can cause big leaks, and it's really bad if it happens to you while you need to hold a wave.
It kind of froze at the start of the lane and then just stayed at the top.
I know this bug happened already like multiple times after new patches were coming out. I don't know if that has something to do with that.
A small leak on Walden here, but we can call this a pro league because look at his Mythium. He's got loads saved up.
We see it here, 150 Mythium already. He's a little bit short on time, so he's not getting the Pack Leader or the Mimic out in time, or at least not in income.
Yeah, he can send 3 brutes on 6 if he wants
is he getting it? Oh, it's really close. He can. He gets it. Ooh, sexy.
But it's wave 6. Why do you send a Pack Leader?
Oh, it's wave 6. Yeah, true. I think he was a little bit too happy about getting his 160.
But a Mimic would have been pretty nice.
A Mimic would have been great.
Would have been really powerful here.
A Mimic would have been great. It would have totally killed him.
It's a shame about the Pack Leader. I think a Mimic or 3 brutes would have been really strong here.
Yes, 100%. So in that case, I would prefer a Mimic or 3 brutes as well. But what we have to mention is Season had to sell his split to get a Windhawk here, so he's losing a lot of time, units wasting in the split. And on top of that, he's using a different positioning than I would personally prefer here. So he's having the Butcher, like he's having the double unit front instead of the spiky one with only 1 unit at the front and 2 units on the side. So this is a little bit of a different positioning. I would personally not recommend, because like this, the wave is not spreading perfectly on your fighters. So there's some room for improvement still.
Yeah, this is still going to be quite some damage as well. Like when the pack leader and the
100%.
brutes get to the king, they're going to
I
deal
mean,
some damage.
look at the pack leader. He's just not dying. Like the king is already hitting
Yeah,
like 5 or 6 times on it, and it's 44% only. They're dropping to like 40. That's pretty
that's a lot of
big.
damage and a lot of gold.
Yes, but now in return, there's the mimic coming. It was a income mimic as well. And to be fair, Sekai way here on lane one, he's not looking too good against the mimic right now. He's still having a little bit of gold though.
So Walden can make a deep coiler. Yeah, he does. That's the right
He
play
does,
here.
yeah. But what is Sekai doing? An alpha male. Oh, please harden. Harden. He didn't harden. Okay. So if the mimic is going on the alpha male, it's a good thing for him.
It should go on the alpha after the Mugman dies. Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty good for him, but it's not perfect, I think. Maybe double veteran would have been actually better and boost one of them. I'm not sure though, but he should have hardened for sure. Let's see
should,
how it
but
goes.
Walden's doing pretty well, really
Yeah,
well. I think Walden
Wilden
holds like
having
full holds.
good value here, getting a fairly small send with only a brood and 2 snails, and he's having good units, so he's doing everything he can here, and like he's doing as much as I expected from him. So I think
And they're
that's
sending back at them again on 8. This is probably just for income though at this point.
yes, absolutely. Thank you, Magic. Thanks a lot for your sub, man, and all your support. The thing is the following. Even though the East team, Mr. Ting and Cesian, are a little bit down on King HP, they're still at least equal to gold. I think they're a little bit ahead actually, and they're having the equal amount of workers while having more Mythium on their bank right now. So
Yeah.
I would actually call them a little bit ahead in terms of strength.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're in the driving seat at the moment. And when they get these income sends, they're going to hold them easily, like
Yeah.
really easily. They can push more workers and they can just choose whenever they want to send in return.
Yes. But what do you think about the decision to go triple Green Devil here? Like, isn't this a little bit too much?
I mean, it's good on this wave. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
it's not great in the later game, but it's going to keep them alive in this wave, and they can push off it. So it's not terrible.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's like very, very strong against that wave, but he's really sacrificing a little bit of power in the upcoming waves. So 9, he's not that great unless he's going for the Violet. 10, he's missing a lot of single target damage, and 11, the units that should be good there are dying pretty soon. So I don't really like to do too many Green Devils here. But obviously,
and they're sending straight back again now. I'm not sure about this.
I wanted to talk about about this next send as well, since you cannot really send 11 against Sekai. He's looking really strong 11. While Wilden's looking really strong on 10. So it would have been really hard to choose a perfect wave. So maybe actually you just go now and then 12. That was like my guess that they could go for.
I think Walden is really strong on 12.
Walden.
Or he should be anyway.
Yeah, actually, he's not too bad there.
Oh no!
Absolutely.
Look how fast his nightmare dies here. This is going to be a massive lead from Walden.
He's not getting protected, so the Wanderer needs to be on the other side to protect the Nightmare a little bit longer. I'm also a little bit curious about the positioning of the looters. But it looks so far as it was the right wave to send. So there's leaks on both of them. It's looking good. I actually do like the send here on 9.
And Walden did a lot better than I expected, actually. After I saw his nightmare die so fast, I thought he was doomed, but he only leaked 35%.
He's especially on quite some value as well. So he was on a good value. So it's actually pretty hard, and now the lead is absolutely on East team sides. So
yeah, look at the 14 workers on CZ, and he's in a big lead.
Absolutely, they're as I said, it's so nice in the driver's seat. I didn't know this saying, but it sounds perfect, perfectly fitting for what they are at the moment.
I wonder if Walden's planning to put a butcher in his pack rats. If he does, that's
Um,
something I've never
I
seen before.
think so. Oh no, wait, I was looking at the wrong one. I hope not, right? I think he's
Yeah, I
just
mean, I hope
building it
not.
like this because I don't know, because he's probably just copying like the deformation of the other side. That would be my guess. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so you
It's a nice
can't really,
pattern.
I would not really say there's the intention to build this butcher, but we have to be careful now because Sikai and Walden, they're now having quite a lot of Mythium. There's not this one super passive spell. There's Sacrifice, which is obviously good, but if you don't have a good unit in a role to defend yourself, Sacrifice won't help a lot. So this is actually getting a little bit interesting, especially with the background of Cesian being really weak on that wave.
Yeah, and Mr. Ting picks up the
Yeah,
magician here on his
Mr. Ting
violets and
is
his Leviathan. He's fine.
he
He's
should
really
she should
in
hard
no
carry
danger.
this wave. He's looking really strong. Violet with Leviathan, a comp that is
I think
super strong.
Cesian's fine as well, right? Like he's got a
Cesian.
doppelganger with double life steal.
Yeah, I mean his descent he's getting is kinda strange.
Yeah,
So
this
there's a
should be his weak wave. It should be, but the send isn't ideal, and he's got really high value.
yeah, you gotta send him full tanks here or a 4i and the rest tanks. But a pack
I
leader
mean, the
is,
pack leader just dies so fast like
yes,
that.
and the hermit here is actually having zero impact because there's zero sources of AoE or spread damage out there. So just get a dino for the hermit and it's already way better. You get more income, you have a better chance of leaking him. So a dino would have been just the way better. 80 gold send.
And it looks like Sakai is going to leak small to this income send.
Yes. He's a little bit undervalued though. Not protecting his range DPS units too good. So he should try to get a alpha male or another tank behind his star caller he wants to build, so that let's say he's building a tank here, the tank will run upwards as well and protect all those range DPS units. That would be really good.
Exactly.
But at the moment, we already see the goal difference is huge. The worker lead is absolutely there as well. Is there like a real chance for Sakai and Walden to make this comeback?
Well, I think Walden needs to re-roll because at the moment his top end is that doppelganger.
Yeah.
He has no chance on 15, right? So he needs to re-roll and hope to get a Phoenix or a Hades or something like that.
Yes.
Otherwise, he's just dead on 15.
Yeah. We have to mention though that Sakai is like monster on 15 at least. What we see
That's
at the
true.
moment.
Yeah, that's true.
While he's really dead on 14 so far. So he's having 0 units that are somehow good on 14. So that is not looking too great for them.
And when do you send if you're Sakai and Walden? Because these guys are looking really strong.
Well, I have no clue. Like, they're absolutely weak on 14 because of Sakai, so they probably have to either undercut, and we already see it here, Walden is only close to holding because the doppel is always dying before the samurai. So they actually have to consider sending very, very soon.
They're sending
and
on
they
13, but I mean, there's no chance. Mr. Ting and Cesian cannot leak 13, even if they tried.
So there's two options of play you can make now. So since you know you're really bad on 14, you can either, which is super risky because your enemies can push, you can go for income, rest king, and next wave king again. This is the way you try to out income your enemies and try to get more value than they can send. Very risky, since especially in high elo, the enemies will just push hard. Second way would be send income next wave and then do the rest king to not feed them, but get as much gold out of the situation as you can possibly get. So this are the two situations that were here, and they're trying to full send, so they're losing a lot of income with sending non-income units like a witch like
Yeah.
brutes and all that. So they're losing some money. They could need the next waves.
And a witch doesn't really do very much on
No,
wave
not at all.
13, right?
No, a witch is good if there's a lot of spam. We see there's absolutely no spam. There's almost all big units on Mr. Ting. He's having a really solid build, I want to mention here. So it's looking very, very professional. His split is actually totally on point. I didn't think we mentioned this already. So he's perfectly splitting with his weak side being on the right, his strong side being on the right. So very strong split. He's using the auras perfectly. So his build is really good looking.
Yeah.
Like
And
very
Violet
professional.
is one of the best units you can have on 13 as well. So
Yes, very professional build he has. And now there's the Send coming, since we already saw Sakai being super weak, not having the perfect tanks. He rerolled his PVs even. This is gonna kill him. I hope he's
and
at least
Walden
going for the
has
Harden.
the doppelganger head chef, which is normally really strong on 14, but we've seen because of his split, the doppelganger gets killed really fast. So
Yes.
if it doesn't get a chance to ramp
Yeah,
up,
that's
it's
why
not going to be
he's
nearly as
changing
strong.
the split a little. Like with some more Gargoyles, Green Devils. The Harden's finally
And
coming
they
out
are
and there's
upgrading
some
their
King
king.
Ups. But I mean, 560 Cent against a build that is already super weak. I see no chance
Yeah.
of Sakai holding more than 20% of the wave actually. So he should be really, really dead. And we see the doppelganger is dead. And I know it's a little bit early, but this is GG. Mr. Ting and Cesian, they're winning this. Congratulations to them. Absolutely
Oh, that's a
stomping.
huge league. Yeah.
They made a really nice comeback after big leaks on wave 6. After that, they played it
Yeah.
really perfectly. I want to personally shout out to Mr. Ting. I really think his build is looking really strong. Like this build is looking at least as good as the build of somebody who is like 2000, you know,
I mean, at least
at
as good as
least.
yours, right?
But what?
At least as good as your builds, right,
At
Bonny?
least. No, the build is really good looking. Like he's
Yeah,
using all
it
the
was.
aura spots perfectly. His split is on point. It's hard to split on the other side because everybody's splitting on the right and having the strong side on the left. But if you change it up, you have to actually increase the height of your split a little bit. He did this perfectly. So he's aware of how to control the wave. So I want to shout out to him. He did a great job here. Wolden and
It kind of
Sakai.
comes back to that wave 6, though, right? Because they long saved them for a massive send on 6.
Yeah.
They sent 200 and 180.
Yeah.
But if Walden had sent a mimic instead of a pack leader, they
Uh,
might have just won the game on wave 6.
I'm not sure if they would have won since Doppelganger Butcher is actually still a really, really strong send, but I'm 100% sure that it would have been way better.
I mean, the mimic would have just eaten through all of
Yes, but
Cesian's units.
as we saw, the pack leader was a massive tank against the king. You know what I mean? Like, Mr. Ting was holding really
Yeah,
good
that's true.
for the
That's
send
true.
as well. So I'm not sure if they would have lost, but they did a great job for sure.
And then the mid game transition from Mr. Ting and Cesian was really well played. The way they
Yes,
kind of came back from that early
yes.
setback was very strong.
And then especially with this wave 8 income send they basically received, they did not overgrid before that. Especially Cesian, a lot of value, a lot of good value for 8. So he played it very, very passive. So they were just receiving that send, taking it, and they were just able to push super hard out of it. And there was no way anymore to lose this basically if they don't
Yeah.
overgrid too hard. So they played it really, really well. Then again, what we want to mention here, Cesian receiving that send on 11, there's for sure room to improve. So as we already said, there's not a single source of either AoE or spread damage, so a Hermit is not the perfect send here. And Pack Leader is not really a send you want to make on wave 11 usually as well. I really hope for some cross action. I mean, this is a super low elo game, so maybe that is something we can see cross maybe.
I'd love to see another cross. Yes, last week's cross was so exciting, and then the
It
fact that
was
they
so
just
funny.
died without sending,
Yes,
man,
it
come
just didn't
on.
send. It was so good.
They could have sent like 400 Mythium on wave 7.
Feed me a Niflheim. I kind of know those names. Are those classic players and they're like playing 24/7 classics?
Feed Me is a streamer, so he's a South African streamer
Oh,
who started
maybe that's why,
a
because I
couple of
hosted
streams
him.
lately. Yeah, he's pretty cool actually. He's a nice chill streamer to watch.
Okay. I probably never had the time. It's probably like streaming the times I have to do my university work.
Yeah, well, you know me, I'm a massive Legion nerd. I've always got a stream on in the background. So I do my work in the day and I've got Legion on the second screen.
Yeah, always support Legion streamers.
Yeah, yeah. We've got one greed player. Habib is on the greed.
Ooh, sexy. It's really bad that, or like not bad. Like, what's the name? Like, sad? Do you send me the perfect name? Sad. Is
For
sad
what are you trying to say?
like it's sad basically, but sad sounds like a childish word.
What is that?
Shame
What is that? What is that?
to not see the pic of them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that you can't
Ah,
see
it's a
it.
bit of a shame.
I think
Okay.
they probably need to change the UI at some point so
Yeah,
that you can
probably.
see the options.
Yesterday the games are recorded, coming to YouTube either tomorrow or in 2 days. And I want to mention here, I really look forward to see that here to play. I think it's probably a very risky start, but it looks a lot of fun to me. Like, it looks like
Yeah,
a
they can
lot
go
of fun.
crazy. I don't think it's the strongest opener, but
No,
it's
not
going
at
to be
all.
interesting to watch.
It's super interesting. And on the other lane, we're having the
Double antlers
flower
from
against
Feed Me and
double intro.
Niflheim. So very, very safe openers from these two players.
Yes, 100%. And we can already see here SMRCKL, whatever his name is, Blue, already having the nice
Just say Blue.
granddaddy, the granddaddy mode as a profile picture.
Yeah.
You can roll at the moment at the Card Wizard's place.
Which probably means they're going to win, right? Because we know that Legion is pay to win now.
Yes, Legion is pay to win. You know, all get the pay to win mole, reducing damage by 8.
Did you know that the pay to win Kingpin automatically gets 150 stacks when you upgrade?
Oh, you don't say.
He actually gets 170.
170 out of 150, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. You should all buy that one. All right. Something I want to mention here, Habib already going for a little bit of a split together with Flower. I don't really recommend that because your Flower is obviously not able to put their passive on those units in a split. So it's always better to have a Flower or other AoE units like Pyros without a split to get their maximum damage output.
Yeah, and it's not so bad at this point in the game. But when we get to the later waves and the flowers are only hitting half the wave with their damage, it's going to be really noticeable.
Yes, 100%. And now he is going to expand his Atom army, especially with a steed. So this looks really fun. The comm is actually really strong as well, since he's having ramping attack speed with the steed together, and the attack speed is then getting buffed with the APS even more. But he's on 3 workers only. He's too overbuilt, so he should really try to get some more workers out in this early game.
Well, he should hold now, and he should push pretty hard off of this hold.
Well, it would be hard if he's leaking now on top of his slow workers and overbuild, so that would be a real shame to see it. But he should be able to hold this, even though it's actually looking quite close for him. Is he actually leaking the Brood?
Yeah, he might leak the Brood.
Holy shit. He's really overbuilt and leaking the Brood here. I mean, APS...
Atom's got quite a big HP nerf, right? You can see it's quite noticeable there.
And APS is a really bad unit in the early game, especially if you only use 3 spots as Blue does.
Yeah.
But I'm
red
really
on 5 workers now.
Yes, but look at Habib and... What did you call Blue?
I just call him Blue.
Okay, Blue. They're still saving. They did not send so far. They're still on their greed and don't know what the other one took as mastermind option. Their base income, so they're really trying to long save. But when are they going?
When do you think they go? I mean,
well, it would be best to go 7 for them.
They can't save all the way.
But maybe
7.
it's 5. Like 5 is the second best option probably. 5 double brood. Double brood on 5.
It can work. They're not that weak there though.
They should not go 6 because Niflheim is looking really strong on 6. Like Niflheim.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't go 6.
I'm pretty sure he's already doing one Zeus on 5 probably. So he should not receive a send on 6. But let's see, they're still saving, and I actually predict the level 7, because 6, as I said, Niflheim is looking a little bit too good, even though Feed Me is not looking great there. But they're both not looking
Feed Me's
too
not
great.
bad though. I mean, he's got Antler and Green Devil. He's not weak on it. He'll probably leak to 3 brutes, but it won't be a massive leak.
Yeah. 5 workers though, they're ahead on workers. This is getting really, really interesting. Especially with East Team not sending as well, because they don't want to feed, and now there's a sense on 6 coming. Okay, this is really interesting. I think
Yeah,
that just...
I'm not sure about this. I think they needed to send because they were starving
Yes.
themselves really hard, right?
Yes, I think they based it on when do we have to send, and Feed Me is looking kind of bad here. Anyway, the split is not perfect. He has to increase the height of the Green Devil by half a square. His support units, the Harvey and the Nikomata, are not good on wave 6, so there's only the Antler so far.
Yeah. And no tier 1 on Feed Me as well, so it's a bit harder for him to correct his split than it would be otherwise.
Yeah. His cheapest unit, you can basically say, is the Nikomata upgrade. Or then it would be on Harvey in the other case. And they just pushed a worker each.
I don't know about that, dude.
Okay, that's really risky. So the rule of thumb is never push if you didn't receive a send, and push if you receive a send. They really ignored it just now, and you will see what will follow, which is big leaks probably, especially on Feed Me.
They would have held a lot better if they hadn't pushed that extra worker.
Like with another worker on each of them, Feed Me would have got 2 stacks on the Nikomata, and Niflheimer would have had another bazooka, which would have actually let him hold a lot better, like probably another brute on top.
So Niflheim for sure kills this, and maybe a brute, maybe full hold. And Feed Me definitely kills this, and maybe this. So the leaks are much smaller if they don't push a worker there.
So they just ruined it a little bit themselves. This is making the long save from Habib and Blue pretty much worth it. Like absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
And with a look at future waves, what is likely to be the next wave we will see bigger sends on? Like it's probably not going to be 7, everybody on quite low Mythium.
I'd like to see a wave 8 send against Habib. I think that could be very strong.
Yeah, same as against Blue as well, actually. Like giving him a Cannoneer, probably ruining him quite a bit.
Yeah, I think a Cannoneer would be really good against Blue.
On the other hand side...
They have enough Mythium.
Yeah, on the other hand side, Niflheimer's not looking good on 8 as well. Like there's only the cat he got. So he's not looking too great.
Feed Me is pretty strong on 8 though.
Yes.
So I think Feed Me can probably carry 8.
And here, there's actually a nice comparison. So here you see the Nikomata with 3 stacks. And on the other hand side, you see the Nikomata with 7 stacks. That's pretty good. And sorry for everybody in the stream. My upload just broke. But it's going to be recorded, so no, don't worry. We're going to have the gameplay.
So I want to see this Cannoneer coming out now from Feed Me. But no, they're saving.
Yes, everybody's saving. So personally, Wave 9 looks like a good send against Blue at least as well. And against Feed Me. So those are the 2 weak candidates that are looking really, really bad on 9.
Yeah, but Red is pretty strong on 9. Like Red, you need to send on 10. I think 10's not bad against Blue either, to be fair.
Yes, 10 is looking really good, but look at their income. Like it's 47 as maximum income on Wave 8, which is like something you might see in high-low matches at Wave 5, if there's like a total fiesta. So I'm really, really afraid of Niflheimer and Feed Me not sending on on the upcoming wave because their values are not looking too great.
I mean, we were
Okay.
saying Niflheim's not great. Like, he's nearly leaking to nose end here. So
Yes.
a couple of fiends or something like that would have
He
leaked him
did
pretty
not
good.
full stack the cat though. He actually did. Oh, he did. He did. It just was not shown in tab menu. And they're not
Okay,
sending.
Sens
Oh
are
my
coming out
god.
from red and blue,
Yeah, but they're
and
Niflheimer and Feed Me are not sending. It feels like they're gonna
they're
lose
not
this
sending.
year.
Well, I think 10 is the best wave for them to send, but they need
Absolutely.
to live through wave 9 first.
Yeah.
Pygmy
They're
does have a golem, so he needs to harden that.
both have golems. They just placed golems, both of them. Nobody's hardening them though. Ah, no, please harden. Anybody? Ah, they don't. Okay. I don't see a chance. Like, it would be. Oh, the cat.
Yeah.
Look at the cat walking across the side. Now going to be attacked first before the antler. So there was a little bit of a chance for him to do a little bit better with the cat, getting
This is game over, right?
some heals there. Yeah, this is game over. GG to Habib and Blue, the one we can't pronounce the name. Congratulations on that win. Give me a second. If that was actually their first game or the second one.
It's best of one, so
Yeah, but one round, like Casting Gaming, which is Niflheim and Feed Me, they skipped the first match.
oh yeah. So they win their first match, right?
So now this is GG's Habib and Blue. Very nice game actually. They played really strong. The send on 6 was really clever, even though Feed Me and Niflheimer kind of played into their arms with both pushing a worker here between 5 and 6. We can see it. So really strong played by them, and then after that saving a little bit longer to wave 9. So it's really hard to only get 2 cents in a game, but they played it out really well, and there was not a lot you can say against it.
Yeah, it's another one of those small decisions making a big difference. Because I think if Feed Me and Niflheim didn't push that fifth worker going into the big wave 6 end, they probably still leak, but they leak much smaller. Like instead of 76% and 43%, we'd be looking at 40% and 20% or something like that. And
Yeah,
the difference in damage to the king would be a lot less. So they'd be
absolutely.
in a much better position, I think.
So we're here
Zoom is actually a
semi-finals.
Japanese player. I don't see very many Japanese players, so
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
there's some. And on the other hand side, I mean, how many Spanish players do we see with Raresh and the other guy we don't name here?
The other guy, the guy who will not be named.
Yeah, the one the name isn't. Wait, how do you name Voldemort in English?
We call him Voldemort.
No, like the description from him. The one that
The
name that
the one who shall not be named. He
who
who shall
shall
not
not
be
be
named.
named. Okay. I mean, in
So
Germany, it's
two
like,
greeds. The Spanish duo are both taking greed.
yeah. Finishing with Voldemort, I want to say in Germany, if you say the name, it is like a whole sentence. It's der das Name nicht genannt werden darf. This is his fucking name.
Can you imagine having to read that book out to your kids?
What do you mean?
You're reading the book to your kids, and every page you have to say an entire sentence just for one guy's name.
Oh yeah. A lot of fun. All right.
So double greed from the Spanish duo. So big respect for that because
do
it
we
is
see
the best spell in the game.
the hard fees on TL?
I see.
It looks like it, right?
Yeah,
Like
he's got a Harpy Leviathan roll. It's pretty nice.
And on top of the Badger being a good tank, I think Berserker quite good as a tank as well. So it looks like she's having a good setup for it. I would already re-roll for the tier 1 and the flower to be a little bit safer. But what is Raresh doing? He still didn't build. Okay, the Growl. Interesting choice. Double Growl actually. And they're almost same position. What do we miss? Is this a new... Oh! Hello! First skin of the day! Here received by Pokemon, the snail skin.
The blue snail, very nice.
Yeah, the undersea snail, very, very good looking. Do you have that?
I've got that. I
Oh
have
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's nice.
Mm,
Have you seen any of the Kickstarter skins, like the Brute and the Kraken?
no, I haven't so far. I've watched the zoos before in someone's profile, and it's looking amazing. I'm
Yeah, I
really,
played a
really,
game against Jules earlier, and obviously Jules has all the Kickstarter skins.
yeah,
They
obviously.
look so cool.
And he's
Like
like
the smoke
showing off,
patchwork
right?
is really nice.
Just
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
he's like skipping Ram and going after Income Kraken just to show the skin.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
So
Um,
Pokemon's got Lord of Death here on 2, but has 50 gold and isn't pushing. Okay, now they've pushed. Okay.
he is pushing, yeah. Is Rarish though going for the boa, or is he leaving the Growl? Because at the moment I feel like it's going to be a Growl that is just standing there as a tank.
Yeah, they probably just keep it as a tank for now and then sell it at some point later to upgrade.
Yeah,
The good thing about Growl is it's always an investment, right? You don't need to sell it on wave 2 or 3. You can sell it for whatever wave that you're weak on for something stronger.
absolutely. And one thing that is really interesting as well, we saw Zoom being the player really hard pushing in the last game, but this time he actually started with a 2 worker opener, going for the Violet on wave 2 and now pushing afterwards. So he's actually sacrificing a little bit of early game power to be better now. So this is quite interesting to mention. How good is Goral as a tank?
Not
Early
great.
game? Please go ahead.
So Growl has a lot of its value in its ability to be sold for 90%. So as a unit itself, the stats are quite low for the cost. It's not terrible, like it's still a big chunky natural tank. But as far as like how much HP and DPS you get for the gold, there's much better units out there. The
Yeah,
strength of Graal obviously is that you can sell it and you get the versatility from that.
yeah. Even though Goral is not that strong, King Claw is a very good tank though. So King Claw is a very strong tank. His abilities actually a super nice synergy with Steeds and Pegasus. So maybe you want to try this out sometime. And we were talking about Zoom being the high pusher in this game, already at 6 workers, not fearing any leak within the next waves. Let's see how this works out for them, because there's the long save against Zoom. There was only descent on 1.
He would leak here to a fiend though, right? Like
Yeah.
a fiend and a snail for sure.
Well, nah, he would, but not too much, because he's having quite a big split, and the Fiend would actually go into the split, so the Violet is not hitting the Fiend at first, and that might actually lead to a hold with the amount of split he had. Or like a super small leak, since the Fiend is not getting attacked too early. So that would have actually been kind of good for him.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure red would have leaked to a fiend as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But he got a send the wave before, so he got a 40 send on wave 3, which was hopefully for income. I didn't see if he meant it to go for it pre-income. I just realized I'm missing the in-game sound all the time. Since I'm not playing music right now.
It's nice and quiet, just our voices.
Yeah. Might sound a little bit strange though. If you're not having any sounds for some seconds. It's being super silent then.
Blue is looking pretty weak on 7 at this moment.
Yes. There's a lot of waves actually that look really, really nice to see sends on.
Someone in chat says bit too loud.
Bit too loud. Oh, sorry. Thanks. Where is it? Sound. There it is.
Okay, we've got some pretty big sends coming out here. 2 brutes from red.
Let me know if it's better now.
From blue.
Yes, the sends are really big. 60 cent. Double ground, that situation is quite good. On the other hand side though, Zoom sending 120 as well against Teal he's not looking too great now. Like, Tita's looking really bad, actually, on wave 6.
He's not looking great, but really high value, though.
Yes, he is, yes. I mean, they're still on 4 and 5 workers, so the worker lead is already absolutely on the West team's side. And when they're now getting some leaks out, they should have a huge lead.
Yeah, and this is another big undercut, right? Because they want to send on 7, which I think is the right play for them.
Yeah.
But if they both leak big here, then they give away
no.
a huge amount of gold to the opponent.
Oh, he's not killing both of them because the grass dying before, right?
Yeah.
No, oh.
Classic wave 6
Come on,
focus.
the passive damage, the passive. The passive, please.
Oh,
no.
so unlucky.
Like, with a little bit more luck, he would have just cleared all 3 of them. But over there,
But
the
still
Sky Queen is
holding.
rocking, man. Sky Queen is on fire again. Ooh, the Sky Queen might do this. Come on.
It
Let's
depends
shoot for
which
the
one
gun.
it attacks. If it attacks a low HP one, it
Bam,
can clear.
bam, bam. Look
Yeah,
at that.
nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
And now I hope they're doing the right stuff on 7. Mole. Is Mole a perfect send here?
No,
Not really.
I think a mole's
Double
not bad.
Brood would have
I
been
think he
better.
wanted 2 broods. Yeah.
Double Brood being the better send here. Probably Lizard Brood for Pokemon. Yeah, it should be. Oh no! Why did he do another lizard?
I don't know. I mean, they didn't have much Mythium, right? Because they had to stay
Yeah,
so
but
low work.
he was able to get another lizard in income time. If he wanted the lizard. I don't really like that. But let's see if it works. Canopy is still a
It
very
might still
weak
be
unit.
enough.
Got a buff though. I want to mention. Sorry, I did interrupt you just now.
It looks like it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I think with the Brood Lizard it would have been even more, like even a bigger leak. Pokemon was looking really bad here, and a Double Brood would probably also killed soon here, who's now able to push really hard once again.
It should. That's a decent leak on red though, so the 2 lizards
Yep.
working out pretty well.
And the best part about all this is that with all the time the Nikomata is now giving them, he might actually be able to resend another 80. And another 80 with double lizard could actually harm Pokemon again, because he's not looking great next wave as well. So I hope he sees his opportunity. Going for a double lizard resend would be the perfect play right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, you definitely should.
He doesn't see it. Maybe they're trying 9. Maybe they're going 10 actually. 10 is looking kind of promising at the moment against Pokemon and Zoom as well.
10 is looking fantastic. I think
Yeah.
they have no chance of holding wave 10. Pokemon does have Serpents, but the thing is that they need to build it on wave 9. And do you have the balls to build a
And he
Serpent
has
on
no
wave
tanks.
9?
He has no tanks
has
for
no
Serpents
tanks,
on
yeah.
top, so the Serpent
Yeah.
is gonna be quite that early.
And the second Lord of Death here, I'm really not sure about that. You were
No,
already
not
looking
at
quite
all.
weak on 10.
Yeah, he could have just done sell maybe 1 or 2 of the looters and then go for a coiler already. They're around the same value, right? I think you only need 1 to sell one looter, and then he could have already done a coiler, which is a better choice for 8 for sure, which is probably even a better choice for 9, and it would have been a better choice for 10. So probably a coiler instead of the second LOD would have been a way better play here.
And we see the Spanish duo going for wave 9, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, it is.
Like, they probably leak. Don't get me wrong, they probably leak. But I think if they sent wave 10, they could just win the game.
I'm actually not even sure if I see them leaking. Like,
Well, Zoom won't leak, but Pokemon. probably
Pokemon
will.
is looking really good as well. Like, there's a decent tank. You're having Canopy with a lot of single target damage and being okayish if there's another tank in the game, and the 2 Lord of Death are having quite a lot of single target DPS as well. If they're both getting a second Drake, they might do good. But let's see. I don't wanna call it.
I
That
don't
is
know. I think
holding
the
this.
way like his tanks are all in a line, so the wave just focuses one after the other.
Yeah, it
There's no
looks like
aggro
he's having
sharing.
no chance. You're right.
It's a massive league. Yeah.
I thought he might do a little bit better, but this looks actually really bad for him. But Zoom is holding at least. Oh, and they're both close for resummoning. But this is not really
Resummoning
good for
wouldn't have
them.
made much difference. He kills like one,
Yeah.
maybe two more scorpions with a summon.
So now Zoom and Pokemon, they're having a great opportunity. When do they send? Because Teal is looking decent here. He's missing the tanks, but he's still having he's missing some DPS still and some tanks as well, but he can get both of that with the Berserker and more fists. Whereas
I think
Raresh
at this point they should just go for wave 11 with a press the attack and just
yeah,
go for an
probably
all-in play
11.
because they're quite far behind.
12 would be even
So-
better in my eyes.
12 would be
no.
better, but they've already been starving themselves for a long time.
Actually, now it's not better anymore. With seeing all the consorts, actually 11 is the best play.
Yeah.
And let's have a look real quick here. So the boss is going to turn on the right side, so it would be the better positioning for the Berserker to put it behind the flower here. So that would be something you can improve for sure.
Yep. And Pokemon adding the Decoyer and the Rat here, I think, is the right play from them. So they get, oh look, the Blue Snail, pay to win.
It's looking so great. Blue Snail, doubling the HP of your snail, tripling the attack damage. It's really
Three
awesome.
giant snails, right?
Yeah.
So Red is going to leak, like, a lot, just because he's got two Lord of Death, which are really weak here.
Yes. And Suma's not doing
Blue
too
can
good as
hold.
well. Like he's really close, holding on the. Oh wait, he's actually leaking.
Oh, clutch.
Wow.
Look at that.
12 HP. So the Decoy is probably not even getting a hit because of the lizards. It's pretty good. If
But they have, look at that much Methium to send.
if Zoom was not on that many workers, and especially if he hadn't been on that many workers for all the game, I would actually say that the Spanish
Siege
duo is
rat.
in a good spot here. But at the moment, this is not looking good for them.
Well, Zoom got a Siege Ram before income, which is huge.
Oh, Teal just took press. Oh no. Took press and did send
dear.
afterwards and not going income, not going king. Oh shit, that
Yeah,
is a misplay.
That's not the right play.
Ooh. Okay, so best play here for him. Go Protector and get the best units you can, or go press the attack and go full king. That's like the only two plays he got. Maybe even hero would have been a thing, but don't go press and then send after income. This is like the worst you can do in that situation. But let's see how they do. Let's have a look.
I don't see
440.
Theo
I
holding
mean,
a 440.
what do you want to do? 440? The Harfies are probably not getting the RAM in time.
I maybe Cry might be the right play.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, consorts though are not to be underestimated. Like they're getting +9 attack damage. They're having magic damage with their passives. So
they're very
Raresh is
tanky
actually
as
looking
well.
quite decent here. He might even hold.
Yeah, but Teal's leaking 100%.
Yeah, he got a huge send, perfect send against him, plus taking the wrong king spell. But on the other hand side, we see Pokemon, he's out of the game. So if Raresh is now able to have that game on his shoulders a little bit, to carry it, he might be able to be the winning player in this team, because Pokemon is kind of out of the game. He's behind in worker, behind in value. He's not having a lot of opportunities left.
There's going to be a lot of ping damage though.
Yeah,
the Spanish
it is.
duo. They're going to
It
go
is.
down to 50%, I guess. Maybe more because it's attack, not
Death Hair.
spell
Oh no.
related.
Okay, never mind. It's actually a good send. A Teal is going for the send once again, and this is a really tricky play now. So I hope that Raresh is not following because of the following situation. Teal is now sending on Pokemon, the player who's already out of the game. He's not looking good on 12. So if you keep sending on his weak weights, he's always going to leak there, and he's falling even further behind, and he won't have a single chance to come back anytime soon. So if you always send on him, he's not able to value enough. He's going to leak on waves where Zoom is bad anyway, and so you then can just focus on the weak weights on Zoom and just send small on Pokemon, but send big on Zoom. So this is a very clever play they're doing.
They've made the right play. So Raresh has upgraded the king, and he who should not be named is sending to leak Pokemon. Very good.
Yeah. I could have also seen the play being Raresh saving. Would have maybe even been better. for him to save and then just pick the weakest wave for Zoom, which is probably 14 or 13.
Probably 14, yeah.
Yeah, he's not looking too good on 13 right now as well, right? There's only the one Violet. So
but
he could
even
have
Zoom
just
is
saved.
very low value. He's got workers, but he doesn't have much
Yeah,
fighter value.
He will not be
Yeah,
named
exactly,
yet.
got it. We've got Voldemort in the game.
Yeah.
There's a name that we can't read, so we call it He Who Shall Not Be Known.
Voldemort's in this game at 58%. Remember this, everybody. At wave 16, you're getting 0% of the gold you league you get anymore, and we're already at wave 12, so I'm not exactly sure how big the number is here, but it might be around 15% you gain from the originally bounty, so you lose a lot of gold here.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Call him Parasite. That's something we can say on stream.
Well, we can also name him just Teal, like the color, but...
Yeah. I quite like Voldemort.
Okay, let's call him Voldemort. That's actually a lot more fun.
Yeah.
There's only one problem. So since they just sent now, they gave a lot of power away. Voldemort is sending once more and Ravage is going for the king ups. And they're basically making the same mistake as they did before that. They're giving the others the opportunity to long save. And they're looking awful on 14.
Amount of Mythium.
They're looking awful on 14. But we have to say, their value is dope. Their value is really good.
Their value is super high, and they keep getting gold because Pokemon's
I just see now Roush is not upgrading the heal. Why is he not upgrading heal?
Yeah, I think that's an error. If you're going to spend all of your Mythium on King, and you have 30% HP, you need to put some regen in.
Here, Rapia just went through the Edos. Yeah, he should have just done some heals, like 3 or 4 heals already after 11 to generate a lot of health points you could really use later on. And this is actually almost as bad as you can get. He's gonna leak small, so he's not gonna lose a lot of gold, and he's gonna give his team a lot of time. So this is pro leaking from Pokemon.
Pokemon actually held this pretty well.
Team.
Like, I mean, sure, he only got an income send, but for his value, to hold that well is pretty good. And like you say, it's perfect for them because they're sending a massive send on 14.
Yep.
So an extra 30 seconds to save for that send is perfect.
Absolutely. The sends are coming out. Again, Voldemort sending. I'm not sure what the Ravage is doing, so I would have, in this case, I would have liked him to send as well. And now he's doing the king ups with the heal. A little bit late.
Now the regen, but it's a bit late. Like, if you put that regen on 2 waves ago, your king would have already healed 20%.
Do the AoE or single target damage now, he would have had 4% more king HP, which might have helped a lot. But Voldemort, 2.9k value, that's a lot. And the send is not too big. Like, the sends are they're good size, but they're not too big. So they might have a chance. It's small, but they might have one.
If he had the Sky Queen skin, he would definitely hold.
Yeah, true. Sky Queen skin, doubling the attack speed of the Sky Queens. So, pay to win Legion on its prime again.
Voldemort's doing pretty well.
Ooh, look at the doppelganger. Ooh, perfect.
Yeah, that was...
Ravage doing really, really good. And 12 units already with full king. They're not dying. And look at this flower. They're not dead. And on the other hand side, we see once again Pokemon leaking really big. Leaking even bigger than
Pokemon's
the others.
just out, right? Like, Pokemon
yeah, he's totally out.
No value, no workers.
So there's now the call they have to make. Voldemort doesn't send on 15, but then they're going on 16 big, and then they should be able to win the game, the Spanish duo.
A big 16 should be game over, yeah.
While they build 4 wave 16, they're looking really good there. Ravage did push quite big though, and he's not looking too great on 15, so there might be the undercut coming on the upcoming wave. If they don't realize this, they really have to build all the rest they got now to defend 15, and then they can win 16. Okay, it's looking good. Nobody's sending. Okay, so that should be the end on wave 16 then. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like both teams want to do a big send on 16, but I think the Spanish duo look a lot stronger there.
Oh no, no, no! Why? Why is there king ups? No. Okay.
I think it's fine. I think
Well, but there's no
Pokemon
need for it,
definitely
right?
leaks 16.
Like
No,
those
you don't
60.
really need it.
Yeah, but those
But
60
Pokemon's
are
definitely
brute.
leaking 16.
Like, of course, Pokemon's leaking on 16 anyway, but you could just send more. Just imagine it's gonna be a race, and then Pokemon's like holding a little bit longer. You would be mad. Obviously, it's not gonna do. It's not gonna do
Pokemon's
it.
not going to
But
be the
yeah,
deciding
absolutely.
factor in
But
the race.
it could be very impactful. That's what I want to say here.
Okay.
Like, just don't do king ups if you really don't need them anymore because you're winning next wave anyway.
Pro League here from Rarush.
Yeah, Pokemon Pro leaking as well for the Spanish duo. But as I said, Rarush and Voldemort, they're both not looking too great on 15, so with some decent sends, they might have actually leaked here a little bit bigger. So
Yeah,
good
I think
that
they definitely could.
good that they were standing a little bit back on their push, especially Voldemort did not push too much. He was adding another 400 to his insane value on 14 already.
And here comes the race. So
Yeah.
Pokemon adding 2 coilers here, which is definitely the best thing that they can do.
Yes,
They could
it
maybe
is.
sell this for something else to try and last a bit longer.
I'm not sure about the Ocean Templar. Could have just been, like, instead of the Ocean Templar, you just sell some looters and go for another King Claw. Might have been a better
Yeah.
choice.
Well, I think they didn't add it for this wave. I think they added it for last wave.
I didn't see, sadly. But Pokemon being so hard undervalued anyway, so the only thing he can do here is slow leak. Even though the send he is receiving is not too great, and the mole is just standing perfectly next to the coilers. So it should... Oh no, the coilers are getting sniped, never mind. So the mole is not getting sniped from the coilers.
So yeah, I mean, Pokemon's going to leak super hard.
Yeah, and on the other hand side, we see it here. It looks like Voldemort is having a good clear for that wave, so they're not dead. On the other hand side, Pokemon and Zoom, they're leaking both of them, and not even
Zoom?
close. So this is GG.
Yeah, it's game over. But I think they maybe would have won as well.
Both leaking as well. No, they would have. No, never ever.
With the full king up. No.
Yeah. I think even 11 creeps on that wave, in their condition, they would have not even been dead with no king ups. Like wave 16 is not the strongest wave against the king. But
so well played to the Spanish duo then.
Yeah,
in the
GG.
finals.
It's good to see finally some good Spanish players in Legion. You know, we don't
Yeah,
really
for
have
sure.
a good Spanish player so far, so it's good to see 2 of them coming.